Hello, welcome to Into the Wormhole, a brand new Star Trek podcast with me, Larissa Maestro, and my number one,
Lauren and Lauren.
Yay! Hello. So we're going to talk about Star Trek, which is our favorite franchise.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of Star Trek to go over.
There's literally decades of material to talk about.
Yeah, and some of it I've forgotten, which is a little embarrassing, but I feel like it's like going to the gym. Like Star Trek fans, we have to, we have your leg day, you have your arm day, you have like your Voyager day, you have your TNG day. And,
yes. And then you work out new muscle groups, like your Discovery group.
Exactly.
You're like, I didn't even know that was there. Yeah, absolutely. I've forgotten so much stuff and then gone back. It's amazing. There's so many topics to cover. We're going to talk about transporter accidents. We're going to talk about holodeck malfunctions.
We're going to talk about love on the holodeck.
Oh, it's so good. When it happens, it's so good.
And can we be honest? Like, if that existed right now, everybody would be on the holodeck, basically. Having some sort of, we'll say romance.
We could say romance.
Use your imagination. But
we could say Pornhub.
Yes, exactly.
We still don't know what Riker does on the holodeck by himself.
I know. There is the episode with, who's Jean Grey?
Oh, Famke Janssen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her episode where she shows up and she basically makes everyone hot and heavy.
Yeah.
And Riker's like, I'll be on holodeck 4. And I kind of wish it was a running joke that, like, when she runs into Worf is just like, I'll be on holodeck 4. And then just every man or woman that she meets is just like, at the end of the episode, everyone's in holodeck 4.
That would be incredible. I really loved how that was just like here we go. I just got really horny and now I got to go take care of it.
Exactly. So, yeah, we talk about fun things like that. Very scholarly things.
Yeah, we're professionals. Right. We have degrees in not Star Trek.
No, but what is interesting is that you're a professional musician and I'm a professional illustrator. Like, we do these things for a living, and I think Star Trek fans do get the cliche or stereotype of always going to, like, some sort of STEM subject, like science, tech, engineering, mathematics, they become astronauts. But I think it's really cool that we do come from what people would say more artistic. Not that I want to say you can't be a scientist, obviously, or a mathematician and be creative, because I think we're all problem solvers, Trekkies. But I think there's something really cool, even just the few conversations we've had about your perspective of music in Star Trek, or even more so actors trying to play music in Star Trek that obviously aren't musicians.
I cannot wait to talk about that.
So we have a game.
We want to introduce you to how silly this podcast is going to be. There are plenty of Star Trek podcasts out there in the world.
A lot of amazing ones.
Really great ones. I listened to several. I'll shout out to Women at Warp. I'm going to shout out to Mission Log. Those are official Roddenberry Star Trek podcasts. But they're serious. They're talking about serious things. And we're probably going to talk about some serious stuff as well. But, like, this is going to be a very fun nerd time.
Not that those other things can't be fun, but...
Yeah, they have fun.
I'm curious, how have you been describing this to family and friends? Like, the tone of the podcast?
I've just been telling them I'm going to talk about Star Trek. Okay. And then they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
I've been telling people that you or other people I know, we're at a bar, we're at a party, and Star Trek just comes up, and before you know it, we've had this really awesome 30-minute, 45-minute conversation about characters or episodes, and realizing that it's a lot of fun and we hope it's entertaining. And so kind of bringing that to this podcast format. Yeah. So yeah, it's meant to, hopefully you'll have fun chatting with us.
And maybe if you don't know much about Star Trek, you'll listen to this and be like, maybe Star Trek is fun. 'Cause guess what? It's really fun.
It is. Yeah. On that note, just to show how not serious we are. So I asked Larissa, I gave her a prompt basically a few days ago, and I said, okay, I need you to write fake episode descriptions like you would see if you're looking these up now on Netflix and they have like 1 or 2 sentences. I said, write down some fake episode descriptions for Star Trek episodes that don't exist. The twist, though, is that all of these episodes end up on worst Star Trek episode list. So we're purposely trying to come up with what would be some of the worst TNG, well, not just TNG, but Star Trek episodes. I think all of mine are actually TNG, just because I feel like
some other.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because this was my wacky idea. Should I go first, or should I let you go first as sort of the guest of honor in the game?
I want to hear yours.
Okay. I'm
so
right.
excited.
Some of them, I have to admit, I realize like, oh damn it, they already actually kind of did that on Star Trek. But we'll see.
Same here.
This is one of my favorites that I came up with. After the majority of a group of visiting Trill are tragically killed on the Enterprise, Crusher must put all the symbionts into one surviving Trill host. By the way, this one guest stars Sam Neill, I think, before Jurassic Park.
Oh god, it's like an entire Trill city is like inside one person.
I wanted to say 8. I was like 8 Trill and one host. But I was like, that's really gross. And that we have like a body horror episode we've talked about. And
that's like severe body horror. Like does he have like a huge beer belly full of Trill symbionts?
See, that's the problem. Is it's like, okay, I was like, maybe we'll cut it at like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like a little,
how many can feasibly fit in there?
Bloated, but not like to the point where it's like, rah. So
how do they get along in there? They're like all shoved up next to each other. They're used to just being alone in a human.
Well, obviously,
or in a Trill, I mean.
There's a lot of like split personality type things that could happen.
This is like Sam Neill's acting dream.
but actually, part of me is like, I feel like that could be a fun episode where there's like a mystery to be solved, like someone murdered so and so, and we find out that a Trill has like 2 symbionts and doesn't know.
Ooh, I would so watch that.
So I don't know, but that's the idea of just like a ridiculous too many of them.
Too many Trill.
Yeah, that's the episode. Too many Trill.
Too many Trill.
Exclamation point. Too many Rikers.
Oh god.
So that's okay. That's one of mine.
Oh god, I love it so much.
Let's hear you.
Okay, Counselor Troy decides to organize a Galentine's Day get-together on the holodeck.
Oh my gosh.
But things don't go as planned when the Chippendales dancer simulation malfunctions and they end up surrounded by several fully functional Commander Data strippers.
Oh gosh.
All of mine are dumb. I was thinking of Fistful of Datas, and then I was thinking of Naked Time, whichever one it is, where he like gets drunk with that virus and he and Lieutenant Yard do it. And then I was like, what if it was just a bunch of Datas? Just like,
well, it's kind of,
how uncomfortable would that be for like Lauren?
Oh man, it's funny that you mentioned Galentine's though, because that's kind of close to one of my ideas, which was I love this. It's the shortest one on here, but Data goes to prom. He's been part of a wedding. He's been part of a relationship.
Yeah.
I just feel like, seeking out human interactions. It's like, I am going to go to prom.
I mean, honestly,
hilarity ensues.
You can just drop Data into any like human social situation and just let it play out. And it's
pretty much, right?
It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah. But I again, this would be a horrible episode that should never happen.
I remember him talking to Wesley about the Sadie Hawkins dance at Starfleet Academy and how it was awkward. Like, I remember that being like a very short conversation when like some episode where Wesley like comes back as a cadet or something.
Oh my gosh. See, look, again, it's like here I am thinking like,
that's why I was trying to make all of mine so stupid.
Right? And then you're like, oh my god, that actually kind of...
Oh, that kind of happened. There is so much Star Trek in the world. A lot of these things probably happened.
Okay, what's another one of yours?
One of my shorter ones is Odo, Worf, Miles, and Lauren are stuck in a turbolift and everyone is grumpy.
That sounds like a Seinfeld episode.
Just everyone's like pissed.
Yeah.
Miles is like rolling up his sleeves and he like doesn't know how to fix it.
Although he got stuck in an elevator with Lwaxana Troy.
Oh, that's true. There was that whole thing. And that was a really sweet
It is
scene,
actually.
though.
I actually really like Lwaxana's Deep Space Nine episodes.
Me too. I think they're like more expansive. But yeah, I was just thinking like who are the mostest grumpiest people
to be stuck in
an elevator with, and that's what I thought of. I just feel like they would all be so mad.
Well, and I like how in this version Ro comes back.
Yeah.
Is that because she was originally supposed to be Kira's position, or is she like back as like a guest?
I mean, honestly, I was just like, she is so grumpy. I just want to see who punches someone first. Is it Ro Laren or is it Worf?
Ooh, I'm going to say Ro, actually.
I feel like you're right.
Yeah.
I feel like Worf could contain his anger better than she could.
Yeah. I think Worf would definitely punch the wall. Yeah.
He'd try to open the doors with his arms. You know?
Yes.
He'd be like, "Arr!"
But Ro would be the first one, I feel like, to throw a punch at somebody. Yeah. Was it just the three of them, or was there a fourth person?
Miles.
And Miles. Miles must suffer. Yeah, he's just there because Miles must suffer.
Yeah, always.
Okay, another one of mine, which, again, I was like, ha. And then I thought, oh my God, they actually kind of did this. After a transporter accident, the consciousness of the crew must be stored in data, resulting in Brent Spiner doing impressions of the other actors for 45 minutes. It's basically a one-man show of Brent Spiner just imitating and impersonating the rest of the crew.
I am here for that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, depending on how it's written, could be a terrible episode, but also like just let Brent Spiner do whatever he wants.
I feel like he kind of does that at conventions, like when he just does Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, he does Patrick Stewart.
But here's
all
the thing: I'm fully acknowledging that's a little bit of a ripoff of Our Man Bashir, which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Where in Deep Space Nine, that's when basically they lose everyone in the transporter and they have to put them in the holodeck program. The James Bond. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
The James Bond one, and Bashir and Garrick are in there. And I was like, oh, it's kind of like that one, actually.
Yeah, but they're all themselves
true.
Playing it's not
true.
The difference is Brent Spiner.
There is an episode, however, in Voyager where Jerry Ryan is 7 of 9. She has to put the doctor into her Borg implant.
Yeah.
And so she spends like the whole episode or a good portion of it like pretending to be Robert Picardo playing the doctor.
Yes.
Yeah. So again, it's like once again trying to think of silly premises and being like, oh, that actually was kind of done.
I thought she did a great job at that, by the way.
I remember a little bit of it. I need to revisit that episode.
I feel like my memory of it is that she nailed it. Okay, I have another one.
Okay.
A new drink from some random planet suddenly appears in the replicator at Quark's and becomes a bestseller. Curious, Quark himself tries it and discovers it has psychedelic properties. Can Odo control the space rave that has taken over the promenade?
I will absolutely watch that. Is it a flaming Mo? That's the only question I have.
It could be like, I feel like in my imagination it has some kind of like smoke or like fire in it. It's like some kind of ridiculous dumb party drink, but it makes everyone go insane. And then like Odo, straight man, is just walking around with all of these people like basically on Bonnaroo drugs, just like running around the promenade, crazy weird alien music happening everywhere, people barfing in corners, and Odo's the only one that like the whole bridge crew has had it. Everyone's just like losing their minds. I love that idea.
I mean, if you think about it again, like talking about the Naked Now and maybe even the game where Wesley...
where there's somebody that's the straight man.
Yeah, exactly. There's somebody, and everyone else has lost their shit. And no, I would absolutely...
Yeah. Like Jadzia would be like one of the first people to just like have too much of it. And she's just like partying, like bonkers partying, and she like pulls Kira in. She's like, you gotta try this new drink.
I feel like it should be Odo and Quark. I feel like Quark's trying to run the business, so he shouldn't have it. Or maybe he doesn't have enough.
Yeah.
And so, because I like the Odo-Quark dynamic.
They have to team up, and they hate each other, but they love each other, but they hate each other.
So, that would be fun. Okay. Okay, I have two more. One of mine is Riker must go undercover in an illegal alien Ambo Jitsu tournament.
I already love it.
To foil an assassination pilot. Or plot, excuse me.
I already love it. I love it. Riker undercover. That's wonderful.
Just for more of those ridiculous outfits. You can definitely tell this was the era of American Gladiator. It's like they put all the gear together.
Yeah.
Like just one magnet sucked all the athletic gear from all corners of the world into one outfit. And then they have blinders on, which is like the best thing. It's just...
It's like, just put more on there.
It's exactly.
The production designers
give them more shit.
It's the future. They would have everything.
Did you have?
I have another one. Yeah.
Okay.
A malfunction causes all the replicators on the Enterprise to produce only Lieutenant Worf's favorite food and drink. Can the crew survive on prune juice and gagh? Just a boring ass episode.
But you know what? I feel like that'd be one of those thing where it's like paired with an exciting like A story, B story, and then at the end it would dovetail nicely somehow.
Oh yeah, like the B story would be like why Lieutenant Worf's. Like it would be like there's like some kind of like thing in there. There's like a life form in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there's got to be something like completely threatening.
It's Ollie Alexander's fault.
Yeah.
Poor Alexander.
Okay, so my last one is the crew members of the Enterprise are confused when childhood pets start to mysteriously appear on the ship, including Captain Picard's horse. Which again, I thought was silly, but then I realized like, you know, he actually does go in the holodeck, at least with the horses, so
yeah,
that wouldn't be much of a reveal. But yeah, I just like the idea of like his horse just kind of like being, following like, Picard. Yeah, like he's just
his horse is just in his ready room,
slightly looking like splayed eyes, like chewing some hay, just kind of always being there awkwardly.
Oh God. Just anything that's really inconvenient. When Picard is like very inconvenienced by something, it is hilarious. Because he's also like trying to be polite and be like,
he's very like Kermit the Frog in that way. He's just trying to keep this whole act together.
Yeah. Oh God, I love him so much. Well, yeah. There we go. Here are some ideas for y'all at CBS All Access
for purposely bad. You know, I hear they're working on Picard season 2, so maybe they can take a few of these gems.
I mean, come on. Are we getting Worf back at some point? I know Guinan's coming back. I don't have anything with Guinan. I don't have anything. I mean, I feel like Guinan would be at Galentine's Day. I think she would have the most fun at Galentine's Day.
Yeah, she knows how to have fun. She's serious, but I would totally have a drink of Guinan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. She's like not uptight about anything.
Yeah. Pick her brain.
Well, yeah, so there's a little sneak peek at how...
Oh boy, lucky you.
Lucky you. Into the Wormhole's coming your way. The wormhole's opening! 60 seconds to Gamma. Thanks for listening.
All right, cut.
Find us in the collective at intothewormhole.show, on Instagram at intothewormhole.podcast. Into the Wormhole is brought to you by We Own This Town. An alien, but that turns out not to be an alien, bites him in the transporter, and then he doesn't tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.